The Old Peace update is out now in Warframe, and once again, Digital Extremes showcases how to tell a story in the game. Not just have their players read about the story, but rather Digital Extremes yeets you, the player, back into the memories of the operator to a time where there was a truce between the Orokin and the Sentinels. There are spoilers ahead. If you have not played the Old Peace update, go and do it now, and then we can chat about it. This video is sponsored by Warframe, and that being said, it's an incredibly easy sponsorship for me to do because Digital Extremes always cooks. Use my link in the description below. If you haven't played Warframe before, you won't regret it. Or you can use my code if you do have the game to get some more in-game goodies. Here are my thoughts on the Old Peace update. Starting with the teacher quest, this is an intended quest for new players to introduce them to the modding system in Warframe. It was easily the biggest hurdle I had in Warframe when I first started playing, and it's obviously a pretty essential part of the game. I remember Ordis just saying, modding's pretty hard and complicated, and then I patiently waited for the instructions, which never came. So it's good that they've got an introduction quest to the modding system in the game. It took them 12 years, which is kind of the running joke, but I'm very glad that it's there, and it introduces some of the basics of modding to get new players off and running. I am of the opinion that Warframe suffers from success of having 12 years of content, and you just can't make tutorials for every single thing in the game. Otherwise, the whole game becomes a tutorial, and players need to put in a little bit of effort in researching of, how to get certain things. I do think the biggest hurdle is still going to be like mod acquisition. That's the thing that I really struggle with, is like, to DE's credit, there are some mods in the game that are still relevant years after being released, and they can be obscure to acquire, and you just don't know what you don't know. With all that said, this is a great start to having an introduction quest to the modding system. I think it shows you how different elements combine in the game, which is also not super obvious at first glance, and how you upgrade mods, and it also gives you some starter mods from completing the quest, and I believe chat was telling me if it fast tracks you to Fortuna as well, which is fantastic. It's probably one of the greatest moments in the, like, early on. There's lots of great moments in Warframe, but one of the greatest, most memorable moments early on in the game is arriving at Fortuna and that song hitting. So yeah, pretty happy that they've added a teacher quest. Very nice. Let's move on to the actual Old Peace questline. The worst thing about this, it's going to make you angry at every other single video game that you've ever played, because this is kind of how lore and story should be told in games. Let you live it, let you breathe it, let you play it, let you experience it. I like this framework for telling stories. I think it's really cool to give you these epic, memorable moments in the game that are really true to the history of Warframe, but also add increasing depth to it as well. There is a big emphasis on like big scale boss battles, which is very fun. I always enjoyed the larger bosses in Warframe, the previous bosses. I enjoy them, so I'm glad they've sort of doubled down on that in this update. And of course, all of this is accompanied by the usual epicness in Warframe's Digital Extremes soundtrack. Welcome back, everyone, to Digital Extremes' latest music album, delivered to you via a video game. Woo! DE continues to like play around with camera angles and set pieces to really sort of bump up the cinematic moments in the game. Sheesh! It's weird not having the camera, yeah, but it's kind of cool though. Just like walking through the environments, the battlefields. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit lost lore-wise. Like, I understood that we were reliving memories of our past and we were, discovering this information. But the fine-tune, the fine aspects of the game, I kind of needed My Name is Bife, or maybe a Mylan Games in his peak making Destiny content. Like, I kind of needed a little bit of a summary to get me going, which I might have to watch after this, whoever you would recommend. But I think that's a good thing. I think DE respects their players' knowledge. They respect the lore and the history of the game, and they've done that for so many years, and this just continues to add to that. So you might need a little bit of a refresher to get into it. You'll definitely understand the major plot points as you go through, but there's always a lot of nuance in the storytelling and the lore and the history of Warframe, and I think plenty of things for people to discover and theories to make as they go through, because I don't think we have all the answers yet. There are some things though that never change. Not do change, that never change. Worst part about the entire update is accidentally saving balance. Neither. Okay. Crazy. Oh, Ballas is in there. Uh-oh. Oops. Thank you. Can I take back my actions?
Remember this.
Can I stop protecting it? On to the game modes. I played both the new game modes. Please don't make fun of me. I know this footage in the background is rubbish. It's been a while since I played Warframe, and I was kind of relearning it. And I obviously needed some help to complete some of these game modes. They're obviously co-op designed, and I had a Giga Chad team that was making a pretty typical Warframe experience, meaning you can't see anything on the screen, which means you're playing it correctly. I was playing though the new Devil Frame, Uriel, and that was fun. Whoa! Guys, I'm flying. I'm flying!
Is our golden opportunity. For this, bring me the
What?
mod segment.
In Descendia, you dive down through these hellish levels. There are checkpoints every 7 levels. Each level has like this classic mission type that you complete, which will be very familiar to. In the Perita Rebellion activity, you go to the Tower Moon of Perita, and you have 12 minutes to complete as many objectives as you can before a final boss encounter. The rewards seem decent, with Descendia having the Devil Frame blueprint, and Perita having this vendor that gives you the new Focus School ultimate attacks. B. The power of Grimoire! The power of lore!
Good work.
And of course, the new vendors have been added to the Kim system, the beloved Kim system, which I'm glad they're continuing with from the 1999 update. This is old school text messaging system. It's a very fun way, very interactive way to learn the lore of the game, to interact with any new characters that are introduced to it. And I think I've found my new favorite chat buddy. Move over, Eleanor. Respectfully looking.
Confession is good for the soul, devil.
My new favorite Kim sister.
Burdens you
I am now religious and French.
Remain constant.
And the reason I always so happily accept Warframe sponsorships is 12 years of content, fantastic co-op gameplay, lots of Warframes, lots of weapons, like 600 plus weapons, 60 plus Warframes, skins, armor, things for you to grind across platform, and for what? For the low price of actually $0 free to play. Warframe constantly leads the way in free to play games in the industry. That's why I'm always happy to take sponsorships from them. Easy money. If you haven't checked it out, you can use my link down below. And if you have, you can use my code for some old goodies. And with that, I'll see you next time. This is Marlon Games. Peace.